Good evening, I'm Bryce McLeay, and welcome to Outside the House, the unofficial Big Brother After Show. It is day 79 in the Big Brother house, and while we may be less than a week away from someone getting a confetti shower, there's still plenty of game to play, starting with the final eviction before finale night. So, will the fitness influencer continue to deck the halls of the Big Brother house, or will Christmas come early for a former winner? We'll find out soon enough. But first, let's eavesdrop on the Outside the House team. First up is Rachel Swindler.
Because of you, I never. Oh, sorry. I didn't know we were starting.
Kelly Clarkson. You really know your audience, Rachel.
I
you know
do.
that I work for her, right? You know that
I know. Can you tell her I said hey?
Are you auditioning for our show?
I am. I am.
Well, I mean, if I were in a position, I would certainly hire you.
Because of. Okay, I'll stop.
And also say hello to Mark Herman.
I'm not auditioning to be on the Kelley show.
I feel like you should have been singing, though. That would have been.
See, I know my audience, and I know I can't sing. So,
oh, okay. Well,
no, sorry.
All right, before we get started,
sing, I can't.
Okay, you guys, we got a lot to talk about. No,
Fine.
We actually don't. There's been nothing going on in this house for weeks. But before we get started, I just want to once again remind everybody to please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Be sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss your chance to take part in our live episodes and see your comments on the air. We're also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So if you'd rather listen than watch, just open Spotify or Apple Podcasts and search Outside the House. Then click the subscribe button and please rate and review us. Finally, follow us on socials at From Outside the House on Instagram and at Outside BB House on Twitter. All right, tonight is a special panel night on Outside the House. First up, she managed to endure 3 seasons of Survivor and lived to talk about it. Please welcome Big Brother superfan Kelley Wentworth.
Woo! Hi, guys.
Hey. Hi. All right. And he is a senior editor at Viacom CBS and the host of Big Brother Brothers, the ultimate unofficial podcast from TV Guide. Please welcome Fox Van Allen.
Hello. Hi there.
Yes.
Super excited to be here. I got my beverage. I got my shades in case I need to cry. I'm ready. Let's go.
Yes.
Well, thank you both for being here. It's so nice to see actually people watching this season still.
Yes. God, it's amazing.
I am contractually obligated to be here all season long. So let's go.
Before we get started, I just want to add our friend of the show, Morgan Millette, actually posted this on Twitter the other day, and I thought it was a very nice first question to ask you guys. She says, I have a serious question. How are people still watching BB22? How? So Kelley, how are you still? Why are you still watching?
Okay, I do have a confession to make.
Oh, here it comes.
Oh no.
I did binge like 6 episodes prior to coming on here.
Really?
Because, yeah. I was one of the people that gave up a little bit. So only for you guys, though. I'm back. I watched.
Oh, well, that's so nice.
Back. I know what's going on. I'm ready to talk about it.
Yay, Kelley.
And Fox, how about you?
I mean, I said I'm contractually obligated to be here, but I mean, it's Big Brother. Even a bad season, even an unlucky season of Big Brother is a season of Big Brother. And I'm going to watch it. I've watched plenty of rough seasons, and so I'm ready for this one. This is fine. This is nothing.
That's good. I mean, I think that's a very admirable answer. Well, again, we are doing this. We have to watch it because we're on the show. But let's get started with the live vote and eviction. Cody was the sole vote to evict Christmas, officially putting her in 4th place in this competition. So, Kelley, what did you think about Cody's decision? Do you think it was the right one?
I honestly think he should have evicted Nicole. I'm sorry. My dog.
No, we love dogs here.
We love dogs.
This is happening. He likes to be with me. No, I really thought he should she should have evicted Nicole. I think that if Nicole gets to the end, like, I'm not the biggest Nicole fan, but obviously she's won before. She's made it to the end, potentially. I just think that's a really big threat for Cody. So I think he should have evicted Nicole, but that's just me.
Fox, what do you think?
I think he made the right decision here. Cody has played a almost nearly perfect game. The only issues with his game is that from time to time there have been people who are willing to cut him at the end. Christmas is for sure going to cut him at 4. She's for sure going to cut him at 3. Roll the dice with Nicole that she's not going to cut him. I think Nicole will, but roll the dice about Nicole, and Enzo's never going to cut Cody. So it's such an easy decision for him.
Rachel, how about you?
I mean, I think that he made the right decision for his game because I mean, I think Nicole is not going to cut Cody. I would be, I mean, I don't know what the chitter chatter has been in the house on the live feeds. I don't know if
Chitter chatter.
I don't know where that came from. I don't know what the I'm going to say chitter chatter again has been. So I don't know if Nicole will. I hope Nicole does, because I think that would be great for her game. I mean, again, it's either Cody wins or whoever cuts Cody wins the game, and Enzo and Nicole better step their game up if they're going to beat him in the final.
Okay, Mark, how do you feel? How do you feel about his decision? We can't. Oh no, we can't hear you.
How about that?
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, remember I'm the tech guy.
Yeah, you're our technician,
okay.
aren't you?
All right, just making sure. You know, I agree with it. I was kind of hoping he would get rid of Nicole. That would have been a big game move. I feel like she would have been perfect for him to sit next to final two, because who's going to want to, you know, give the money to someone who's already won it before over someone who came in second place. So I agree with it, but not thrilled. I think he should have gotten rid of Nicole.
I almost feel like there was so little talk in the house, and I think again, like, people have given up on this season. So a lot, even like, you know, the live feeders, people that are constantly posting updates, weren't saying anything. And I was like, is there a chance that he could evict Nicole? But alas, I don't know. All right, so Christmas flattered herself. So she got evicted when she was out with Julie. She flattered herself a little bit about how good her game was. Fox, what did you think about that? Did you think she was?
I mean, my take on it is that of the four people left at the Final Four, Christmas is the person that just about everybody can beat. She's had her HOH was getting rid of Bailey. You know, she's been very aggressive in the game in a way that's made people not like her or be worried about her. When she smiles, I'm especially afraid. I was glad to see her come back, because, you know, Big Brother 19, terrible luck there with breaking her leg. Glad to see her come back, but I'm not sure that I got an awful lot out of her that makes me want to say this is a person who deserves $500,000.
Yeah. So Kelley, do you think that she was actually upset about hearing about the second version of the Wise Guys? Because she seemed like she wasn't.
I don't think she was upset. I do have to go back though and say, I think that every reality TV contestant thinks that they played the best game ever. So
Yes.
I'm just going to say that right now.
Yes.
That, you know, she probably in her mind truly does believe she played an excellent game. So, you know, it happens to a lot of us, and it takes some reflection and realizing, yeah, I actually was not as good as I thought. But I don't think she was upset. I think she had kind of accepted the fact that she was going to be the one leaving. And I think she does respect game, and, you know, what it is, right? When you get down to this many people, there's so few options. I think she's probably just respecting what, you know, what they had done. And the Wise Guys thing is just really funny. Like, what? I mean,
yeah, that is. I think that it's just because Memphis was, so he wouldn't screw up and he wouldn't say the wrong lines.
Yeah,
like, seriously.
Taking a shortcut.
Wait, Kelley, did you think, just piggybacking off what you said, did you think you played the best game? Like in Survivor every time?
I didn't win. So no, I did not play the best game. I certainly had my fair share of mistakes. There are things I could have done better. I think there are things that everyone could have done better. Even people who win the game, there are things they could have done better, even though they won. So no, I do not think I played the best game. No, I certainly don't think I'm the best player either, which a lot of people still do think they are the best player.
Humble.
I won't name names, but
well, we've seen these house guests come out of the house being very respectful of game, and that seems a bit different, especially, you know, I mean, I don't want to name names, Rachel, but
Wait, what? Respectful?
Oh, no. Like, they come out of the house and they're really respectful of, like, oh, this was a game move, everything. Like, I wanted to ask you, Rachel, you know, being in that, you know, having played the game, why do you think that is? Do you think it's because they've played once before already, or what do you attribute that to? Them being respectful and like, oh, this was a great game move, and they're not bitter.
You mean like when people get out of the house?
Yeah, when they get evicted, like Christmas and Memphis, these people.
When they go outside the house.
I think when they go outside the house, I think that making it that far, especially, and the fact that they were all in an alliance together, and they when you hear those goodbye messages and you go, oh, okay, that makes sense now. I think that the way like Cody and Enzo have been explaining their goodbye messages to them, it's put everything in perspective. But I found it funny tonight how Christmas was like, oh yeah, no, I knew all that. I knew all that was going on. None of this is new to me. And so I just thought that was funny. But again, it's all stars, and if you're an all-star, respect the moves, especially there right at the end. And I think people get a little more respectful around the end of the game, where they go, "That was a great game move." Unlike when you get evicted pre-jury, and then you go, "That was a shitty." Sorry.
Yeah.
Move.
You don't have to apologize.
Sorry, I get randomly bitter. I'm just kidding.
Fox,
pre-jury.
Yeah. Fox, how do you think Christmas is going to vote? Like, is she voting for Cody if he makes it to the end? We're going to get into like the nitty gritty of it, but just right off the bat, what do you think?
Yeah, I think my take on it is that Christmas is probably going to vote for Cody to win. I mean, especially if we're talking about a Cody versus Enzo final two, which I think is probably the most likely, because I think Cody's probably going to take Enzo. Enzo's probably going to take Cody. That's probably a 9-0 at this point. I think a lot of people in the jury are looking for reasons to give Enzo some credit here, but he hasn't done anything to earn himself some credit. He's had opportunities to make moves, and time and time again, he doesn't make a move. So, I don't know what he's hoping to do there. But again, if it's Cody versus Nicole in that case, I think she's going to vote for Cody. I think she's probably going to vote for. She's a serious competitor. My take is she's going to vote for the person who played the best game. Yeah. And that's got to be Cody. I mean.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's great. Kelley, do you think that the jurors are going? I mean, it doesn't seem like it, but do you think they're going to be bitter? I mean, we saw them tonight. We'll get into that in a second. But do you think that they'll vote bitterly, or?
I don't think so. I think they're probably going to vote for the best player, which at this point is Cody. But I don't know. I still think that Nicole, as a previous winner, if she can get to the end and do a good job of speaking and explaining her game, I think that that's really tough to win a game and get to the end. So she obviously did something right. So I think that if it's Cody and Nicole, I don't think it would be a landslide. I don't think it'd be a landslide like it would be if it were Enzo at the end with Cody. So.
Do you think that, like, speaking of Nicole, I mean, do you think that the jury thought higher of her? I mean, we saw them come in, and do you think the jury thought higher of her when they saw Memphis walk in the door, and he told them, like she basically said in the diary room, little old Nicole is going to bring him in. What did you think about that?
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Only time will tell. I don't know. It's hard to know what all these people are thinking. I mean, I'm still over here laughing that Davon is like thinking Enzo's playing a good game. I
think. Yeah,
I know. I get it. Enzo's very likable. You want him to be like, you want him to make a big move. You want him to do something that's going to make him worthy of winning this game, but he's not doing it.
No, and he had opportunities too. He did have opportunities, and he did not take them. So,
well, and you're referring. I mean, I think you're referring to the votes that he didn't do. Now, I was trying to figure out. Okay, I know that he didn't vote out Nicole in the triple eviction, but who was the other person that everyone was mad at him for? Was it Ian, or who was like that? He was like, oh, you should have voted them out too. Wasn't that somebody else, or am I going insane?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I think they're talking maybe about tying it and forcing to make the one-to-one decision. Yeah. I don't know that was a great move there. I think maybe taking out Tyler. Tyler is actually a move in the game. Yeah. Like that would give him something. And I think that he was in a good enough position that he would not have been next on the chopping block, no matter how that shakes out from there on out. So, I think he had to do something to prove he's willing to win this game, but he's going to wind up at the end of the game. And it's just, he's putting himself in the same situation he was in Big Brother 12, where he's playing against people he's not going to beat. I don't know, man.
We saw that Christmas, but Christmas, like what you're saying is, Christmas said it in her plea, her final plea, which was, you just got third. I mean, but Fox, you just said that you think that it's going to be probably Cody Enzo, that they'll take each other. Yeah. So do you think that she's then, I mean, she must be wrong or something. I mean, I don't know. Do you agree
hey,
with her?
50 grand's not bad, right? Like Enzo can buy a lot of big screen TVs with that, a lot of bidets. He's got a shopping list. And it doesn't seem like, it's a very extent, like he'll be fine. But it's Enzo lost this week. This is the week where Enzo officially loses because, if he could take Christmas, if Christmas can somehow stay in the game, Enzo's got a shot at it. But, he backed himself into a corner by not doing anything all game long.
It's going to be Cody, Nicole, final two. Cody's going to win the first part. Nicole's going to win the second part. They're going to be final two, and Cody's going to throw it to Nicole, and then Nicole's going to take him, and then Cody's going to win.
Boom. Okay,
that's what I think. That's what I think, honestly.
And not a bad, obviously that's a great theory because it could easily happen. I actually saw something that people were saying how basically that we could get a BB17 situation where like Cody, like Vanessa, and again, this is a huge gamble, what I'm about to say, but and maybe it looks like Fox, you might've seen this too, but like Cody should basically, they were saying that because Vanessa should have thrown the first competition to Liz, if you guys remember, then she could have gone up against Steve and then knocked him out in the second one. And then it would have been Vanessa versus Liz, and Liz would have taken Vanessa. Again, all of this is a gamble if Cody throws the first HOH competition. But I don't know. Anyway, let's get into that because I want to talk about the final HOH. Let's look ahead to the not so distant future, especially since we have an all new episode of Big Brother tomorrow night. I think most people watching and listening to this know the format of the final HOH of the season, but I'm going to do a little refresher. So the final HOH consists of 3 individual competitions without any nominations or POV involved. Round 1 is an endurance competition where all 3 house guests face off. The winner of round 1 is guaranteed a seat in the 3rd round of the competition and sits out of the 2nd round. Round 2 features the 2 losing house guests from the 1st round, and typically this is a hybrid comp featuring both physical and mental elements. The winner of the 2nd competition secures the other seat in the 3rd and final round. Round 3 is then an A or B duel featuring video commentary from the jurors where the house guests compete to rack up the most points in a series of questions, usually played on that giant tipping scale on finale night. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the scenarios, like the gif of Jose from 18 scenarios. So from the final 3 to the final 2 and beyond. So scenario 1, which is the least likely of all, which we've kind of already talked about, is a Nicole Enzo final 2. So Kelley, do you even see a world where this happens? Where it's Enzo and Nicole? Or how does it happen? Like, how would you?
Okay.
I know it's kind of a tongue twister for your head.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
Yeah, that's a mental
Pass.
Yeah.
That's my move.
I love it. So basically, the only thing, like Fox, do you want to take a gamble at it?
Yeah.
Sure. We're talking. Okay. So, there have been people who have asked me, like, why do you not like Nicole? And I don't dislike Nicole. I think Nicole's a very interesting player with like a lot going for her. She's worn a lot of costumes over the years.
Is that a snake?
It's based off of Big Meech's painting of her in Big Brother 18. And then we added a sausage and a Sloppies box, and she's good to go. So Nicole, if you've watched Big Brother 18 and you've watched Big Brother 22, you know that Nicole is willing to get super close to somebody and then just stab them in the back at the last moment. She did it to Devon like twice. Yeah. And I really, truly believe that if it is Nicole in the final HOH, and I think Enzo's got no shot at being even a part of part 3. It's going to be Cody versus Nicole in the end. I believe that. But if Nicole does win this final HOH, and I think she's got a decent shot at it, because it's going to be part 3 is probably going to be enough of a crapshoot. I think she might cut Cody because as friendly as she is, as much as she likes hanging out with the dudes, she likes $500,000 better, or $1 million, I guess at this point, plus $10,000 from whatever that competition was she's participated in. But I think Nicole is ruthless enough to actually make the move that the jury is looking for her to make, and that's cutting Cody at the end. I think Nicole could be, and that's like the only way this finale is interesting, if Nicole cuts Cody at the very end.
Oh my God.
I think Cody has her wrapped around his finger very tightly. Because I mean, even just the way he was just dangling the vote in front of her head, and she was just so terrified and scared and like a little puppy dog and like in his hand. And normally when, you know, I would have expected her to maybe go in the diary room, and I feel like she hasn't even gone in the diary room or hinted in any way that she would cut Cody, which is what we're all looking for. But I do agree, Fox, that it would make it 10 times more interesting if she did that. But I don't think she's going to do it unless Enzo can really convince her to. Or the diary room. Or the diary room.
Can't do that.
Or
Enzo's not that good.
Kelly, you said you weren't that big of a Nicole fan, but is there a claim? Could you make a stake for her of why she should win?
I think I've already said it. I think if you are a winner and you come back and you can make it to the end again and nobody voted you out before that. Sorry, I'm using Survivor terms, I guess.
Yes.
But I think that you have a pretty good case, honestly. I mean, Memphis was after Ian for so long. Like, he's a previous winner. Like, why was no one targeting Nicole? It's honestly that. Do you guys watch Survivor? Like, it's that kind of Sandra Diaz Twine thing of like, she doesn't seem threatening, and then all of a sudden she comes in and gets the W. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's impossible, but definitely she has a better shot against Enzo than Cody. I mean, everyone thinks Cody is running the game. So.
Okay, this is what I was going to say because Fox, I listened to your latest episode of your podcast. Don't be so shocked.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Your show is fantastic. By the way, everyone should go listen to it. But like, what I thought was interesting and what Kelly you just said is you guys are both saying the same thing, that Nicole actually has a better claim to win the game than Enzo. And I was just like, it totally changed my perspective of everything leading up to that. I never even thought about that. For some reason, I wasn't really thinking about all of the things that they've done, categorizing everything. But at the same time, I never would have guessed Nicole would be better than Enzo. Why do you guys, I mean,
if she cuts Cody,
yes,
it's exactly what Janelle said. She lays low, and then she comes alive at the end. There's nothing wrong with that strategy if it works for you. So it's just, is she going to be able to explain that? And is she going to make that final big move of getting rid of Cody? Because I think that would give her a really, really good shot.
Yeah, I mean, the whole jury segment, what it showed me was it's going to be Cody or whoever cuts Cody. That's basically what they all said. I mean, we see that Kevin's bitter, and we see that Davon is trying to give Enzo a win here, but she's grasping at straws. So I think right now, again, it's only who cuts Cody or Cody.
Rachel, why do you think Davon is bitter against Cody specifically?
I mean,
because I get why I get why she would be upset with Nicole, but
I don't know. I don't know if she's like so bitter. I think Davon likes the underdogs. Maybe that's why, or maybe she really trusted, with the whole Polly and her challenge connection. Maybe she really trusted that Cody was, actually going to take her far. And then she's come to realize that really wasn't the case. It's the committee was his main thing. So, because they did have kind of another alliance through the whole thing. So, I think she might be a little better towards him for sure.
Yeah. Kelly, do you think, so the biggest question on everybody's mind is who, and now Fox, I know you've mentioned this already, who you think he's going to take, but the biggest question on everybody's mind, I think, is who's Cody going to take to the end and what decision is the right one? So if he gets to the end and he has the choice, which is very likely, who do you think he's taking?
I think he should take Enzo.
You think he could beat Enzo over Nicole?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know why I can't grasp this.
What are you not grasping?
I don't know. I feel like I just feel like there's that Nicole has done. I mean, again, she's played a great social game. She's obviously gotten this far for a reason, and she was able to do this again. And I have to give her credit for that. But I just feel like Enzo has done. Enzo.
Wrong button. I just wanted to talk.
Are you defending Enzo? I don't even get what you're saying.
I am defending Enzo. I think that he's done I think he's played a better all-around game. He is I think he's played better jury management. Nicole has done terrible at jury management, and I am a Nicole fan. I'm afraid to say this, on this show because everyone like comes at me, but I am a Nicole fan, and I would like to see, I think it'd be great. I think she's very underrated. I think that people give her shit that they wouldn't give a man in the same position, and I think that's unfair. But I also think that in this season specifically, like Enzo, to me, just seems like he's played a better game in terms of like jury management, at least at this point, because I don't think backed into a corner, there's people, I think Ian would vote for Nicole. I think maybe Danny, if it's Nicole, say it's Nicole and Enzo together, which again, is very unlikely, but
Nicole.
It's not going to happen, Bryce.
Yeah, I know.
It's whoever cuts Cody, and Enzo is not cutting Cody. And I don't think Nicole will either. I think the best chance, I guess, of someone cutting Cody would be Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we need to think too. I think, what would Enzo be like at the end? He's like, yo, the meow meow. I had friends. I won something. It's like,
cheese.
what else?
Got the cheese.
What else did he say?
Yeah,
It is what it is, yo. It is what it is.
He would really just try to have to explain everything he's done throughout the season, which is, again, something I even talked about on the 7,000 podcasts I've done about the
Rachel
season.
does a million podcasts like every week. She's like doing, this is like her 7th podcast of the week.
I'm like, right before it happens, I'm like, Jesus Christ, let me just swig a cocktail real quick about talk about Big Brother again. No, just kidding. But no, I was thinking, I'm like, what big moves has Enzo done this entire season? I want to know what he's done. Bryce, what has he done?
Okay, well, he's won 2 HOHs. He's won.
Okay.
He won.
Who did he get out? Who did he get out? He got out.
He got out Kaser.
That's kind of big.
No,
and
that was Tyler's.
For a while.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
No, Tyler got out Janelle. It was Enzo got out Kaser.
Well,
So he got out
was already the
Kaser
house
and
target.
Christmas, I guess, if you want to say that this meant anything.
It was the worst situation of the season. I don't give Enzo any credit for. How do you mess up Final Four HOH? Final Four HOH is just immunity. That's all it is. You nominate people, but it doesn't matter. It's all about the veto, right? And somehow Enzo manages to make Christmas angry. Like all you gotta do is just say like, my nominations don't matter. All that matters is the veto. Like I could leave Nicole off the block. It doesn't matter. I could leave Cody off the block. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what I do. And yet somehow he makes even Nicole and Cody are mad at him after the HOH. I've never seen a Final Four HOH go as badly as Enzo's has.
Yeah,
Enzo is chaos, and I'm for it, especially with this season so
Yeah,
far.
Mark, you've said that a lot. That Enzo is chaos, and it would create, like, if he went. You've been saying Enzo should win other HOHs every week because of that.
Well, once Ian left, that was kind of all I had left. No, but and we definitely saw that this week. Creating some chaos, doing still slipping up and saying final 3 and somehow managing to.
Oh my god!
Like you said, piss off everyone. That was like I yelled at the TV when that happened. It was.
What did you guys think of that?
I loved it. I mean, there's so little going on this week that was fantastic. Like just having anything happen this week is great.
I don't know. I feel like it wasn't as good as that sneeze montage of Nicole from that last episode. That wasn't even a montage. That was just.
I liked Christmas's inability to remember her dance better.
Yeah, that was. What's so funny is like you guys are either we've all worked either work in TV or you've been on TV, and it's so funny because you can right as I was watching that I was like, okay, they can't play the music. She probably can't even do like the dances. She can't even say the song because it's like copyright infringement all over the place. Like they couldn't do anything, and so now we're just watching this, and I was like, so we didn't get the opening montage titles. I would have rather watched those. I would have rather seen like everyone's picture and name instead of this.
The poses.
I wanted to say the reason why I think I'm like gravitating toward Enzo now is because as the numbers have dwindled, I've kind of seen more of his gameplay. I didn't really, you kind of saw him and then, he didn't evict this person or he didn't do things, which was dumb. He should have gotten rid of Nicole, for example. Yes. But I think his gameplay is sort of similar as to if I were able to ever go into the house, which I cannot, but if I were able to ever go into the house, that's how I think I would play, because he plays a mirror game. He tells people what they want to hear, and then he uses that information and gives it to other people. So I kind of finally got to see it move. Like once there were more people dwindling and no one was doing anything, his game was kind of coming to light again. It's sort of a sneaky, like stupid game, but I just kind of felt like that's how I would play it. I never had seen, since I've been watching the show, I had never seen anyone play like the way that I thought, that like I could decide that would be a way that I would play the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I agree with you, because I mean, I picked Enzo to win. I think that he's an amazing social game, and I think he's overall a very fantastic player, but I think he's going to have to explain too much at the end. And like I said, that jury we saw in that segment basically was just talking about Cody and how they're waiting for big moves from Enzo. So Enzo has to give them one big move that he's done all season, but I don't see any, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so that's his downfall to win the game.
That's the problem, is that when you play kind of an under the radar type game, or if you're doing things that other people don't see or know about, it's very difficult at the end to explain that. You don't have a lot of time. And people have kind of already made their decision. So I agree that he's played a good game in a lot of ways, and he's a good player. I just don't know if it's enough to win, because I don't think he's going to be able to explain it.
Yeah. I think one thing that Enzo has, and maybe it's not very fair, right? But like, I think one thing that Nicole has going for her that Enzo does not is that Nicole, I think, gets a lot of credit for what she did in Big Brother 18. And that carries over to Big Brother 22, where people are looking for her to make big moves. They know she's up to something. What's Nicole up to? Like, I think there's a lot of that. And I think one thing we've learned from this season is that most of these new Big Brother players have no idea what happened on past seasons. Like, what is this night moves challenge? Like, who even is Enzo? Like, what's going on? I don't think anyone remembers what Enzo's game from Big Brother 12. But I think people remember Nicole's game from Big Brother 18.
Did you say I did?
Yes, I'm like, I knew exactly what that HOH competition was, and Enzo. Anyway, so that's super.
Well, even this season, David needed some explaining.
I don't want to talk
earlier
about
in the season. And this is the second time on, but I mean, he is, like we've been saying, he is the Big Brother savant, disciple of the game. So.
He made it. He made it to jury. He got 10 grand. He did way better than I did.
I definitely enjoyed his redemption arc. That's definitely one of the high points.
He was very proud of his game. So.
Yeah.
One of the most interesting people this season, and that's
saying a lot.
Yeah.
David was
David Alexander.
One of the most interesting people this season. He like won a power. He did a thing. No one else did a thing. He did a thing. This season has. The commission won every single HOH except for the 2 that Enzo won. There was nothing going on this season. It was just all bad luck. And there was 1 week that like David won a thing, and that was like the only interesting week of the entire season.
I mean,
too real.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's. I mean, that's what
Janelle was great.
Janelle was great.
Love her.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was. 2 or 3 weeks were fantastic, and then the rest of the summer happened.
Yes, exactly.
Well, let's go back to that. So, I mean, we're all in a pandemic. It's terrible, whatever. Like, I wanted to know, like, we've talked about this already, but Kelley and Fox, who were you guys, excited to see come back? Let's start there. Who were you excited to see that you were like, you saw their name and you're like, wow, I'm so excited for them to come back? Aside from what they did in the game. Go ahead.
I've always been an Ian fan. I love
Ian,
so I am was rooting for Ian all the way. Obviously, I like Janelle as well. Davon, I think, is great. I was impressed with Bailey. I didn't dislike her first season, but I really liked her this season. Yeah, I think, but I was like big Ian fan. Big Ian fan.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Were you disappointed in his gameplay at all, or were you happy where he ended up? What do you wish that he would have done?
I kind of wish he would have been a little more aggressive in the beginning, but I understand why he wasn't. It's difficult, again, to come in as a winner, I'm sure, and you have to figure out how to navigate. Like, you don't want to come on too strong and the people are targeting you. But if you don't do enough, which we kind of saw, right? Like, too many relationships were formed, I think, before he kind of got in on it. And I think it was just too little too late.
Well, that was going to be my next question for you, which is who like disappoint? Like, I mean, maybe it was Ian, but like, who else was like disappointed you, in their gameplay, or you wish they would have gotten further aside from Ian?
Literally everyone, because this was the most boring season I've ever watched.
Yeah,
so,
it was.
What else can I say?
That is correct.
I actually saw that you kind of stopped tweeting after Ian left.
When I tell you that I stopped watching and was not invested, I was not joking. Like, as soon as Ian left, I was like, that's it, I'm done. Like, I'll dabble, but I am not. The live feeds were shut off. It's over. So
Yeah.
Fox, who were you excited to see?
All right. So, I mean, maybe it's too obvious, but I was super excited to see Janelle. And I was super excited to see.
I love this.
Wait, no, that's David. I meant I got a Kaser puppet somewhere around. There we are. Hold on.
Oh my god.
There we are. Kaser. There we
Oh,
go.
nice.
Janelle and Kaser. Those were the two people that I was most excited to see. Even though Kaser is terrible at Big Brother and has never gone to the jury. I mean, how fantastic is Janelle? Like, I just want someone who's gonna take a swing, like fight. Like, I understand the Big Brother house. It's like very easy to like, okay, just let the HOH do what they want and like just roll with it. And maybe next week it'll be better. But like, I appreciated that they were willing to do something and actually try. It didn't work out, but like, and Devon as well. Like, Devon, I think, deserves some credit here for actually trying to do something, again, without having any HOHs go in their direction. It was doomed from the start, but I would prefer to see someone make a move and go out because they made a move than someone just goes out because they don't make a move and just try to get along and hide in the back.
Yeah, well, I mean, so it sounds like you guys really, I mean, like we all did, liked the older players that came in from these, and we've had this discussion constantly ad nauseum, so we have to talk about it, of course. But we've kind of talked about this old school versus new school Big Brother this whole season, and so I wanted to get your guys' take on it, in terms of like, where is, like, how can we get back to that other gameplay of where people are like doing things for themselves as opposed to this, you know, or I mean, do you like the big alliances steamrolling it? Because that's what we've seen, and it's been successful, and the ratings have been successful, but it's boring to watch. So what do you guys think?
Did you even ask that question?
No.
Take it back.
Take it back right now.
I want to be entertained, damn it. I don't want all this. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of what we had Andy Heron on, and it's something that I won't forget is that he just said that none of these people are having any fun. You know, I mean, you have two winners in there. And again, it does seem like for some, you know, Nicole thinks that she has to prove something. Again, I don't think she has to prove something, but like, I think that's what they kept thinking, like, oh, there's something to prove. But these people are winners. Like Ian and Nicole are winners, and they're not, like, no one seemed like they were having any fun. You know?
I mean, I think how many people wanted to quit? I mean, we had Tyler, Ian, I mean, the list goes on. I think it was like 3 or 4 people that actually wanted to leave. So these people they didn't want to play. And then, I mean, I don't know what happened with the pre-gaming and all that jazz. I mean, so many people got cut and then other people got brought in. So, I mean, we may have gotten more of, you know, second picks that didn't really want to play. I don't know.
Got the second stringers. Yeah.
I never thought I'd ask for Josh Martinez to come in.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I missed Josh.
I was just talking about that.
What could have been?
We couldn't imagine that we'd want Josh in the season, but all of a sudden, it doesn't look so
sudden,
bad
here
now,
we
does
are.
it?
That false positive COVID test wasn't looking too bright.
Oh man.
Did y'all see that he tweeted out, or not tweeted, but he on his, and I'm sure if I, you know, I'd messaged him or talked to him after, he probably would have told me eventually, but I saw on his Instagram story that he said it was a false positive. And that's why he got sent home. Yeah.
Fake news. Fake news.
I don't know if that's true or what happened, but I mean, it is true that you can get false positives. It's happened.
But didn't they do multiple tests with them? Probably.
I don't know what happened. I'd have to, you know, ask him specifically. But
You're not allowed to talk about production's COVID though.
I don't know anything about no production COVID tests.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything.
Can I ask a question though? Actually, I'm curious how you guys feel about pre-gaming. Because as someone who was on a season with all returning players there, I can say there was a lot of pre-gaming.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of negativity online of people saying, you shouldn't be able to pre-game, yada, yada. But like, it's just a part of it. People are in this community. They know each other. I'm just curious how you guys feel about pre-gaming overall, and
I don't think it's a problem because as we've seen, I heard that, and Kelley, you're confirming this right now, in all-star seasons, don't Survivor people pregame?
Yes.
Okay. And does the Twitter world get so angry about that?
No.
Okay, so in my opinion, why are we getting so angry at these Big Brother players for pre-gaming? It's a part of the game. If Survivor can do it, alumni can do it, then why can't Big Brother alumni do it? It worked out in their favor that these people all knew each other. Why are we blaming, Derek and Dan? I don't know the whole story. I don't know everything, but it just seems like a lot of unnecessary hate towards one or two alumni, and without knowing the full story.
Yeah.
Well, and I think a lot of the toxicity comes from just the fact that there's so much content. Like there's 3 episodes a week. There's the 24 as well, 8, 7 live feeds with how much they turn them off now. But I mean, there's just a lot for people to watch and a lot for people to complain about. So with Survivor, it's, like one episode a week. It's pretty much done before it airs. So
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I just think it's funny. There was a video that came out during after Second Chance, and it was this video of everybody saying like, who are you in a pregame alliance with? And Jeff Varner was like, I literally have a pregame alliance with every person, laid out this whole thing, and people thought it was hilarious. People thought it was hilarious. They loved it. So I was like, I just think it's a big deal. And like, if Dan and Derek were involved, like if I'm going on a season and someone connects me with someone else, I'm like, yeah, cool, great, that's awesome. I mean, it is what it is. Like we all know each other. It's fine. So everyone just be happy, stop the hate. It is what it is.
Exactly. And then this person, and we just put it up right here. It says, people are not angry about pre-gaming. It's about their favorites getting evicted. And that's mainly what it's about. I mean, no one wants to see Cody and Nicole and Christmas, who was probably the most hated house guest going into the season, making it that far. So it is what it is. It's about the favorites. It's not about that. And thank you, Kelley. I appreciate you saying that.
Fox, what do you think about pre-gaming? What do you think about pre-gaming?
So, good luck stopping it, right? Pre-gaming has been part of the scene since Survivor did the first ever All Stars, right? Like we're talking like 2006, 2000, whenever the heck that happened. You're not going to stop it, right? And I think there's something like Kelley can probably speak to this, but like when you're on Survivor, when you're on Big Brother, there are like moments where if there's game happening, they want it on camera. Right? Because that's very satisfying. Like fans don't like when something happens to affect the outcome of the game and there's no record of it. You can't show it. Like I think that's really the only bad thing. That's the main bad thing about pre-gaming. But like you're not gonna stop it. Obviously, like everybody's involved. Janelle was super involved with pre-gaming. It didn't work out for her. Cody was involved in pre-gaming. It worked out for him. So, I mean, it's another facet of the game, and it's just part of the All-Stars experience. You just gotta expect that that's going to happen because these people know each other in real life. It's like if you're having like a game night every Friday with your friends, like you've played with them several times, you know what's up. Like it's everything. Anything goes. Anything goes.
Gotta expect
anything goes.
Well, expect the expected. I agree that because here's the thing, like at least if Cody and Nicole pre-gaming with Derek, whatever, first of all, they played with him. So like you said, we've all said, it's like the other thing is they couldn't pre-game all the way to the end. Like, I mean, I don't love I don't love the trajectory of the season, but you can't say that Cody and Nicole pre-gaming for like a month before made them get to the end of the show. It's just like there's no possible way unless they have internal help, which I choose not to believe that. So it's like that's the thing that bothers me. It's like, okay, yes, but like as Rachel pointed out, and I'm sure like this is how a Survivor is, Kelley. It's like even the limited exposure that I've gotten to the Big Brother community, everyone is very close. Everyone knows each other. They have intimate relationships, and I think that is just a huge. It wouldn't matter even, and a lot of these people have played together. And Rachel's pointed out multiple times how, Casey was supposed to be in the house too. So like it would have been Casey and Tyler and Bailey who had all been on BB20. You would have Devon and Nicole who have played together. Cody and Nicole who have played together. Kaser and Janelle who have played together. I mean, it's like you can't. it's just a stupid thing for people to. They're just grasping at straws, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
Well, and I think the main piece of it is that the people that are complaining think that Derek and Dan are way more involved than just connecting people. They think that they're playing, like
right.
Raven, like a puppet master.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that may or may not be the case.
You always have to troll Raven, don't you, Mark? You just love.
Well, I have an inverted spine and rough knees, so whatever. Anyway,
okay, let's get to the who gives a shit who wins. Let's get to the most important question, which is who is going to win America's favorite house guest? Kelley, let's start with you.
There we go.
Davon. I think it's Davon.
Do you think is that who you want, or that who you think is going to happen in both? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. Fox, what about you?
I think she's right. I think that the stars are aligning for Devon. I think you maybe have, your final three is probably going to involve Janelle is going to be in there. Or maybe Tyler is going to be in there. But I just think it's going to be Devon's year. I think like all the Big Brother alumni seem to be lining up behind Devon. Even Paulie's lining up behind Devon, and he's got like his brother in the house. So like I don't know. Like I feel like this is probably going to be Devon's $25,000 to lose here.
Yeah, Rachel, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be between Janelle and Davon, but it seems like what I've been seeing on Twitter has been, more Davon. So I would be happy with either a Davon or a Janelle, America's favorite player, because they both gave us such entertainment and such heart and such great content throughout the season. So I would love to see one of those two ladies win.
What about your former housemate Tyler? I mean, I feel like his name has been in the mix, right? Or
yeah, I don't think he's gonna win this year. I just don't think it's its year. I mean, I'm going by Twitter too.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good source.
Twitter is blowing up with Davon Rogers. So I think it's going to be her. I mean, it seemed like on the polls, Janelle was always number 1, and then Kaser, and then Davon. So not sure where it's going to go. I don't know what the casual viewers want to do. So that would be interesting to me, what the casual viewers, how they view it.
Mark, how about you?
I think it'll probably be Day. But I don't know. Janelle could pull it out. Again, like Rachel says, it comes down to what the casuals want. Because aside from like some of the communities like on Reddit or a lot of the Twitter stands, there's not really going to be huge vote campaigns one way or the other. So it'll ultimately come down to the casuals. But also, does production change things a little bit? I mean, they don't really tell. Yeah, they don't really tell us the real vote counts. They just say, first, second, third.
But the other thing that I was thinking about, I mean, are those first 5 people going to be there because of COVID? I mean, are they going to be at the studio, or is it, because like Janelle is living her life. So is she going to be is she going to be at the studio? I mean, I guess she could be, but
they could do it. They'll probably do it virtually.
Yeah.
They've got all those screens.
Yeah.
So instead of triple eviction, they'll have what they're actually supposed to.
I want to do a quick apology to Ranger Rick. He said I have too much lighting, so I just want to apologize to you real quick. I'm so sorry.
Ranger Rick.
I was going to complain about the Wi-Fi. I thought you were at that Holiday Inn Express in Nashville that I was
Is my Wi-Fi now?
It's a lot better now. It was earlier.
I don't think so.
That sucks.
Maybe it's fine then.
My life's going great.
All right, guys. Now it's time for final thoughts. So we'd like to end the show this way, and it's just kind of like, what do you think is going to happen? We've kind of already discussed it. What do you hope is going to happen? Do you have any predictions on? Let's just start with the first HOH comp. Who do you think is going to win? Kelley, go ahead.
Probably. I mean, I would think Cody would win it if he wants to.
And who do you want to win? You've said who you think is going to win. Who would you?
I mean, I wish they could do some sort of twist where like Ian gets to come back, and then they're like,
Yes.
oh, like Ian, like, you were the first jury member, and so now you get to come back, and this is your final stand type thing. But no, I guess. Okay, personality wise, I like Enzo. Gameplay wise, I think probably Cody.
Okay, that's good. Fox, what about you?
Okay, so I like going back to like Big Brother 19. Like I love like a really exciting finale where something happens that's unexpected, and like you just like, oh, it was so worth it. But like, I gotta say, Cody, if it's not a very interesting game, Cody played a very good game for the entirety of the season, from day one to day, whatever the final day is in the Big Brother house. You probably know that, Bryce. But it'd be almost heartbreaking if Cody didn't win $500,000. It'd be interesting if Nicole did. Like, that would be a fun twist on the season, I guess. But I don't know. Like, I don't know that $500,000 is gonna change Cody's life for the better. Like, I don't know what that is, but he deserves it. I think Cody's probably the most. It's Derek Light. It's a Derek Light game.
It is. Mark, what about you? Final thoughts?
I agree. I think Cody will win. I want Enzo to win, just because I love chaos. I do think that I'm probably best friends with Kelley now, because I second Ian should come back.
Yes.
That would be the twist that could save the season.
Yes.
I love that. Rachel, final thoughts?
I think Cody is winning BB22. I would have liked for it to be Enzo, which was my winner pick, because I do love his personality. Like Kelley said, personality-wise, I love Enzo. But thank you, Michael Wong. But I will say that I think that Cody is winning BB22 for sure.
That's good. That's good. I Fox, and I'm going to refer back to your show too. I think that was a really good. It would. I think Lance might have said it, but he said that Nicole winning would be interesting. It would be like, whoa, spectacular. Like, what a crazy end of the season, because it would be something different that we didn't talk about or whatever. But like, after that 10 minutes, it would be like such a letdown that Cody did all of these things, won all these comps, was running the house literally since day one. If he doesn't win, it would be a total letdown, regardless of how you feel about Cody. That's my thing. I just think that there's no question that he's deserving of the win. So
I don't want to read
the game.
Yeah, I don't want to read 10,000 Reddit threads about how Cody should have won Big Brother 22.
Oh,
I don't need that.
Can you imagine?
Give him the money and let's move on.
I would like delete my computer. I would just like turn off every device that I had. Like, that would just be terrible.
Celebrity
I would
Big
find
Brother
a way
3 is gonna be
to
great.
delete my computer. Actually,
What did you say, Kelley?
On the flip side, if I have to see a freaking Paulie Calafiore tweet about how great he and his brother are, I don't know. Maybe I don't want the Cody win. Did you see that tweet today, guys? It was like, me and my combined have this many, whatever. I'm like, oh my god.
He did.
So,
He said that they've gotten
They're very confident men. I will say that. Very confident.
It's a close family. It's a very close family.
Yeah,
we had
very
Cody on.
close.
He is a freaking character. He's been on our show, and it's ridiculous.
That's great.
It's really funny. All right, you guys. Well, that's our show. Once again, if you don't want to miss a moment, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also hit the notification bell, so you know when you can take part in our live episodes. Subscribe and follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts by searching Outside the House in the search bar, and make sure to follow the show on Instagram at From Outside the BB House, Outside the House, and on Twitter at Outside BB House, and our personal socials are plastered all over those accounts too. We will see you next Wednesday for the season finale, where somebody will be getting confetti. We also have a very special guest joining us, so be on the lookout for that. But once again, thank you, Kelley, for being here. Thank you so much. You can follow her at Kelley Wentworth on Twitter and on Instagram. Is there anything else you'd like to promote? Or
No, I don't do that.
oh, yes, let's give you a round of applause for that. And thank you, Fox, for being here. You can follow him at Fox Van Allen on Instagram and Twitter. Please also check out his awesome show, Big Brother Brothers. You also have Survivor Brothers, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right. If Survivor ever comes back, we are on it. Fall of 2021 or spring 2022, whenever it happens, we're going to be on it.
Now you can have Kelley on. She did.
Yes!
Yeah, there we go.
Yes!
Look at us.
Oh my God, Kelley, please be on my show.
You don't even have to beg. Just DM me.
Fox, is there anything else that you want to promote as well?
Listen, hey, is there Survivor Brothers, Big Brother Brothers on your favorite podcasting app? Yeah, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find good podcasts, you'll find ours. That's the boilerplate. Not suggesting that our podcast is good, just saying wherever you will find good podcasts, you'll find ours.
Oh, well, you should just end our show that way. That was very good. We should end the show. Rachel, what about you? How many podcasts did you do this week?
I'm not promoting anything. Goodbye. I'm on the Kelley train. Okay.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, thank you. Finally, thank you all for being here. We will see you next Wednesday for the season finale of Big Brother All-Stars from outside the house. This is from outside the Big Brother house. This has been Outside the House. And remember, live in truth and in love. Good night.
Enter my
Night,
giveaway
everybody.
on Instagram, actually. Thank you.
Okay. Mine too.